This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
Wednesday, October 4th, 1950. The New York Yankees faced the Philadelphia Phillies at Shibe Park in Game 1 of the 1950 World Series. The Yankees, managed by Casey Stengel in his second year as the team's skipper, were looking to defend their championship title. The Phillies, under the management of Eddie Sawyer in his first year, were making their first appearance in the Fall Classic in 35 years, having last participated in 1915 when they lost to the Red Sox. This audio is a partial recording of Game 1. The first 10 minutes capture the pre-game activities, after which the recording jumps to the play-by-play action starting in the bottom of the fifth inning, with the Yankees leading 1-0. The recording is from the Mutual radio broadcast, featuring announcers Gene Kelly and Mel Allen.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades with the sharpest edges ever honed. Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports is on the air. Good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere. This is Gene Kelly with Mel Allen and Al Helfer at Shibe Park in Philadelphia, greeting you for the Gillette Safety Razor Company as the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies get set for the opening game of the 1950 World Series. This is the 12th consecutive year that baseball's championship classic is being aired for... Yes, and because so many sports fans are also Gillette fans, we broadcast and telecast major boxing, racing, and football events as they occur throughout the calendar. So, folks, remember, for the tops in sports, tune in Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports the year around. This broadcast is authorized under the broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. The scene is set. The color guard starts walking toward the center field flagpole in Shibe Park with a tremendous tradition. The band has played Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the band headed by Elliott Lawrence, and in several moments from now, another classic will be underway. The big surprise was the headline that greeted sports fans last night. The fact that the big professor from Worcester, New York, 33-year-old Jim Konstanty, would get his first starting assignment in professional baseball since 1948, and his first Major League starting assignment since having joined the Phils under the aegis of Ed Sawyer when he first came up with this organization a season and a half ago. Over the season, Konstanty has won 16 and lost 7, appearing in 74 ball games to break the all-time game appearance mark set back in 1943 by Ace Adams of the New York Giants. The Phils, based upon their climactic finish against the Brooklyn Dodgers on Sunday, when Dick Sisler, son of the immortal George, hit a home run with 2 on to win for the Phils, their first pennant in 35 years, score was 4-1, feel now that they are loose. But the Yankees, traditionally cold and bold, feel that it won't take too much time for them to down the challenge of the so-called Whiz Kids, the fighting Phils of the city of brotherly love. I think it was well put last night in the lobby of Yank headquarters in downtown Philadelphia. Jim Turner, pitching coach of Casey Stengel Yankees, said this to me after I asked the following question. Jim, do you think it'll be a great series? Do you think it will go beyond 4 games? He says, what series isn't great? 4 games or 7? You fellas, I know, are going to give us trouble. He was referring, of course, to the Phils. Folks, if I were to list the really important events that October ushers in, the World Series, of course, would be right up there. Yes, and right up there, too, would be the annual drive of the United Community Chest. When you realize that 40 out of every 100 families in the average community receive service of some kind from one or more community chest agencies in the course of the year, it brings home the vital importance of these splendid organizations. And also, it points up very emphatically the obligation each of us has to make a real worthwhile contribution. There are various payment plans, so pledge now. Pay as you can during the year. The weather, while not entirely disappointing, is definitely autumnal. It's football weather. There's a decided breeze blowing in from left field. It is right field hitter's day. It's a pretty brisk breeze, and the temperature is in the mid-60s. As you know, over the weekend and leading up to this day, we had very warm climes. Just how much either pitcher will be affected, I don't know. Of course, Raschi has had World Series experience before. Cold weather, hot weather, what have you. Big Vic, who has won 21 games for the second season in a row, is set to go. On the other hand, Konstanty, for the first time this season, displayed some sort of ineffectiveness after he had gone to the hill some 73 times, losing one game in Boston and being blasted out in another, recently at Braves Field. But, he says, once he can get his slider and palm ball down, which Mel and I will be describing to you as the play-by-play ensues throughout the afternoon, he's very difficult to hit. And I imagine that Sawyer's confidence in the young man was doubly promoted when he pitched so well against the American Leaguers in the All-Star game in mid-July out at Shibe Park. Now, here are your official starting lineups. And for those of you around the nation, you may be keeping radio scorecards this afternoon. For the visiting New York Yankees, and 2 games will be played in this National League Park, whereupon it will move to the Yankee Stadium for 3 and back to Philadelphia if necessary for the 6th and 7th games for New York. Leading off and playing left field, Gene Woodling, Woodling, Woodling. Batting second and playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto, almost an odds-on favorite now to top the most valuable player award in the American League. Rizzuto, the scooter, playing shortstop. Batting third and catching, Larry Berra. Batting fourth and playing center field in his 9th World Series, the immortal Joe DiMaggio. Batting fifth and playing first base, a former National Leaguer of note, a great hitter, John Mize. Batting sixth and playing third base, Dr. Bobby Brown. Batting seventh and playing right field, one of the brighter prospects in the New York organization, Henry Bauer, B-A-U-E-R. Batting eighth and playing second base, Jerry Coleman. And the pitcher for the New York Yankees, batting ninth, Victor Raschi of West Springfield, Massachusetts. He has won 21 and lost 8. For the Phillies, leading off and playing first base, one of the greater comebacks of the season, Eddie Sawyer. Batting second and playing center field, Richie Ashburn. Batting third and playing left field, Dick Sisler. Batting fourth and playing right field, the National League's leading run producer, Del Ennis, who incidentally makes his home right here in Philadelphia, born and raised here. Batting fifth and playing third base, Pudd'nhead Jones, right name, Willie Ed. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Granville Hamner. Batting seventh and catching, though injured, he came up with a badly sprained ankle in a recent series with the New York Giants, though he is playing anyway, just before game time, Andy Seminick. Batting eighth and playing second base, sophomore Mike Goliat. And the pitcher, of course, for the Phillies will be the big professor, as they call him, bespectacled Jim Konstanty, Konstanty. Based upon very recent rules, there will be 6 umpires in this game, baseline umpires, which were instituted a couple of years ago when Commissioner Chandler took over his position in baseball. And they will include Jocko Conlon of the National League, Charlie Berry of the American League, Dusty Boggess of the National League, the veteran Bill McGowan of the American League, and the baseline umpires will be young Al Barlick of the National League and Bill McKinley of the Junior Circuit. As of the present moment, the opposing skipper's Sawyer of the Phils, who, of course, began his baseball career in the New York organization when Mr. Barrow was the business manager of the Yankees, and Casey Stengel, who in 2 years has proven that he can produce a winner after a lot of rough luck in the past with his Brooklyn and Boston clubs in the National League, are conferring on ground rules. Now, having been familiar with the Shibe Park play of this season, we can tell you that most of the field rules regard the barrier in left field as well as the dugout. There is a 3-foot chicken wire that extends from the left field to left center. The crowd in the background has begun cheering as both New York and Phil's clubs approach from first and third baselines respectively. The field rules, of course, regarding the dugouts are an extra base from either side of the diamond if the ball is thrown into either dugout. A lot of runs have scored automatically because of that rule. The Phils are lined up in their peppermint candy stick uniforms. That's a novelty this season. They have very bright red carmine hats with white numerals and white buttons. Their uniforms are cream white with red stripes, their home team, and filled in red in strips is emblazoned across the jersey. Bright red stockings. The Yankees, of course, in their familiar traveling pearl gray and dark navy blue. Now, in a moment, we ought to have a prayer of thanksgiving, which has been instituted on this occasion, so that the folks here in our listening audience, as well as out here at Shibe Park, give thanks for the recent successes in Northern Korea, as well as general thanksgiving on this great occasion, this World Baseball Classic, that we are glad to be alive and live in this country of ours. Oddly enough, there seem to be some seats in right field, but I imagine that before game time, which is just seconds away, they will be well filled up as opposing pitchers Raschi in right field and Konstanty in left commence their warm-up. The Yanks, of course, up here for the 17th time, the Phils for the second. Now, we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
And now, as we get ready to move into the last half of the fifth inning, it is my very pleasant duty and desire to introduce to you your play-by-play commentator for the remainder of this ball game. A fellow who still is tingling from that dramatic finish in the National League when he saw his Philadelphia Phillies beat the Dodgers to get into this World Series. It's his first. I hope it won't be his last. I'm sure it won't. And he's just as excited as a kid with a new toy, and who can blame him? I am too. Gene Kelly.
Thank you very much, Mel. Dell Ennis, first man up, last of the fifth for the Phillies. Raschi in the motion, delivers. And it's in there for called strike one. Overhand fastball. Dell bounced out, second to first, back in the second inning. And the count on him at the time was 1-2. No ball, one strike count on Dell, to be followed by Willie Jones and Granny Hamner, all right-handed swingers. Last of the fifth, score Yankees 1, Phillies nothing. Raschi takes a little bit more time than usual. From the Barra side for the delivery, swinging a bouncer off the plate, which hit the right side of Ennis and was called foul immediately by plate umpire Jock O'Connell. They're keeping the same ball in play, and it's a 0-2 count on Dell. Ennis is a Philadelphia-born boy, has lived here all his life, and was a great high school athlete. There was some question at the time as to whether he should turn to baseball and football, and his discoverer, a well-known basketball official, incidentally named Jock O'Connell, insisted that he stay to baseball, and of course he's very happy that he did. He's the highest paid man on the Phils. 0-2. Deep in the box. Raschi set in the motion. Throwing high inside. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This has been a well-hurled ball game. Straight baseball all the way. Sharp fielding. And as Mel has told you, the pitching has been supreme. Konstanty more or less of a surprise starter, though it took the nation 24 hours to get used to it. Now the 1-2 pitch. Big one, throwing, swinging a fly ball fairly deep to right, very high. Moving back under the ball, Hank Bauer pounds the glove and makes the catch. That's all for Dell Ennis, a fly ball to Hank Bauer in right. One away. Now Pudd'nhead Jones. There's been a great deal of discussion around this area this season concerning his nickname. And of course it was taken up from the popular song of many seasons ago. Down around home in North Carolina, they call him Big Ed. And his right first name is Willie. And I think the best story about him is when his wife asked which she preferred, she said, oh, Puddinhead. That's good enough. Right-handed batter, throwing. High and away, ball one. One ball, no strike. Slow curve that time, thrown by Raschi. Fine motion. Great build for a pitcher. Seems in control of the situation at all times. One gone. Now the pitch. Swinging a ground ball through the middle, out toward center field, base hit. That's the first hit of the ball game for the Phillies. That was a through-the-middle single on the ground. It wasn't hit too crisply, but just at the right spot, wherein Rizzuto, the shortstop, and Coleman, the second baseman, had difficulty trying to grab it, and it rolled out toward DiMaggio in short center. So that's the first Phil base runner in the ball game against Raschi, who has hurled magnificently. Granny Hamner hit the first pitch, grounded out, short the first, second inning, 0 for 1, steps out for the moment. Hamner is an inveterate first ball hitter, though his average of 270 was his highest in professional ball this past regular season. He bats right-handed. Infield double play depth. Stretch the pitch. Swinging, missing, strike one. A sweet down-breaking curve thrown by Raschi. Seems odd, I know to Mel as well as to myself and Al Helfer, that Raschi is going into a stretch for the first time in the ball game. He had hurled hitless ball for 4 1/3 innings. Perfect ball, as a matter of fact. Nobody reached base. Nothing in one. Throwing, swinging, missing. Strike two. He crossed him up beautifully that time. He came in high and hard, down around the letters with a fastball. And so Raschi, well ahead of his batting opponent, steps off for a moment. Nothing in two. He can afford now to toy with Hamner a little bit. Hamner's a jab hitter. He takes a tremendous cut, which looks as though he's chopping down, but he delivers a swing at the last moment. Leading off first base, the first base runner for the Phillies, Willie Jones. Now nothing in two stretch. The pitch. Swinging a foul. Upstairs toward the right near the sky deck. Around the stadium toward the top, as high as Mel and I are, behind our Gillette microphones, there's an extra steel deck near the superstructure to the right. It's used a lot for football. The Eagles play out here. But on the whole, the regular press box just tapers around midway from first around to third. Nothing in two count on Granny Hamner. Deep in the box, open stand. Infield still looking for that double play. Coleman and Rizzuto exchanging glances around the midway. Raschi set in the stretch. Jones leading off. The pitch, swinging. A short fly ball to right field. Bauer racing in, now pausing under. Grabs for the putout. Two gone, and Bauer has hauled both of them in. Andy Seminick. Seminick had 24 home runs this season. And considering the fact that he got a very late start due to the death of his mother and the fact that he was a holdout for a while, compiled an amazing record. His best in the major league, 288 batting average. As Mel told you, he'd been favoring a very badly injured left ankle. So at the close of the season, it was sprained on him and a crash at the plate at the Polo Grounds in New York. Score 1-0, New York over the Phils. Last of the fifth. And as interesting an opener as you could find. Jones edging off first. Raschi checks. Delivers. Swinging. A slow hit ground foul just to the right of the plate. And like a cat, Berra is after it. Tosses to the umpire, Jocko Conlon, who keeps it in play. Jocko was an American League performer in the outfield for the Chicago White Sox and now is a National League umpire. Nothing in one. Raschi rubbing up the ball. Set to go. He has a lot of time, a lot of room. 1-1 margin now. Very good, though close. Pitching has been great. Infield orthodox now. Pushed back a little bit. Facing Seminick. Set to go. Raschi pitches. Inside high. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone, 1 on for the Phillies. Last half of the fifth inning. With the Yankees leading 1-0. The sun is trying its doggone to come out here. North side of Philadelphia. 1-1. The pitch. Swinging a sharp single through the hole to left field. In between Rizzuto and third baseman Bobby Brown. Zipped out to left field for the Phil's second hit of the ball game. Holding at second base, Willie Jones. Well, it took the Phils 4 1/3 innings to try salving big Vic Raschi, ponderous right-hander of the world champions. And now they have put two together, though sandwiched between a couple of outs. 2 gone and 2 on. Medium fast runner at second, slow runner at first, and the batter is Goliath, who sent Woodling back toward the wall in left field for a put out in the third, swinging and taking a foul. Took a vicious cut that time, and umpire Conlon got it very, very badly near the wrist and right forearm, and time is full. That's the second time this afternoon that we've had something resembling injuries, and Jocko, a game performer, looks as though he is very badly injured. That ball was hit with such impact it knocked the indicator out of his right paw. At this juncture, we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Back at Shibe Park in Philadelphia, Gene Kelly with Mel Allen on Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports, the 1950 World Series. Since Goliath, upon the injury to umpire Conlon, was up there with 2 runners on, the tying run at second base, the potential lead run at first base, Sawyer sent the hurry call to the Phil's bullpen in left field, where right-hander Russ Meyer, who had been heating up throughout the struggle when Konstanty showed some signs of ineffectiveness in the early part of the game, begins throwing to bullpen receiver Ken Silvestri, himself a former Yankee. Trainer Frank Wiechek and Gus Marsh came out from the Phils and Yanks dugout to look over Jocko. And Jocko broke a left shoulder blade. He's going to go toward the Phils dugout right now. The crowd gives him a hand, and I think only in a World Series, Mel, would you find the umpire being given a round of applause down there. Jocko's been a game performer and actually operated with a broken toe on his right foot and a busted clavicle, left side, midway through the season, and yet did not miss a day. Some performers out here. I think he got himself a whiff of smelling salts as well as a quick drink of water. I don't think Jocko wants to miss this series any more than the ball players and our broadcasting crew up here. So he's going to go to work again. That was a ticking foul which glanced off Yogi Berra's mask and then went right on to the lower right forearm of umpire Conlon. Mel noticed that the ivory indicator for balls and strikes was knocked out of his paw. Set to go again. Phil's now in a threat, their first real one of the game. 0-1 count on Goliath. Low average hitter, 234. Long ball hitter, though. Jones off second, Seminick off first. Raschi set, delivering. Taking high, inside, ball 1. Fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone. Last to the 5th, Yankees leading 1-0. Sun now is almost coming out. Not the best weather of the day so far. Raschi working quickly, delivering. Outside, ball 2. Now you can understand, of course, readily, why Meyer is throwing fairly sharply in the bullpen. Should Goliath get on, they might or might not have a pinch hitter for Konstanty. 2-1, the pitch. Swinging, missing. Strike 2, fastball, delivered high outside. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Goliath, originally hailed from Yatesboro, Pennsylvania, but when Mel told you he became a Benedict in August, he decided to move over where his wife had resided, in Cleveland, Ohio. So both Ohio and Pennsylvania claim this son today. Square count, even up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, 2 on. Big pitch, swings and misses, struck him out. The payoff got Goliath for Raschi's 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and a great clutch pitching job by the big right-hander. So on Goliath going down, swinging, the Phillies are retired in the last of the 5th inning with no runs, 2 hits, their first of the game, no errors by the Yankees, and 2 Phils, Jones and Seminick, left on. 5 inning totals. New York, 1 run earned, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left. The Phillies, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. And now, at the midway point in the ball game, the sun comes out to more or less bless this ball game. That's a personal message from Dame Nature. And throwing in the bullpen right now, well, I can see that Meyer has sat down and Konstanty is throwing to the reserve catcher. of the Phillies, Josh Lopata, big boy from Detroit. Manager Stengel is going to send up the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio, to be followed by Big John Mize and then Bobby Brown, whose double eventually turned into the only run of the ball game. Got a good-looking friend of ours sitting down we're going to talk with very shortly. Tim Semenick was on the base paths at the time. He was a bit delayed coming out of the dugout, and now the Phils square away on defense. On DiMaggio, full toward left. DiMaggio, that familiar open stance, a pitch to him, outside low, ball one. On your totals, make that correction from 3 left on base to 5. Yanks had 2 left on in the first inning and 3 in the third. 1-0. Pitching. Ball 2, low and away. That was Konstanty's pet delivery, a slider. It is not a slider in the popular conception of pitchers who try it, or what they call the old-fashioned high school curve. We'll try explanations later. 2-0. Strike one call. Now that slider came in a bit high, but got the letters on the outside of Joe. And it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. First man up, top of the... Konstanty in the motion, throwing, swinging, missing. He threw him tight that time, and Joe tried to pull. He missed it. Strike 2. 2-2. On deck, Johnny Mize, just beyond the on-deck circle to the right. 2-2 pitch. Konstanty delivering. Swinging a half, swung on ball that time toward the left, which lazied itself back toward the Phil's dugout. Still 2-2, new ball implied. Score 1-0, New York. Infield moved over almost on a shift since Goliath is at a sharp angle at second. 2 bumps by Konstanty, throwing. Low and outside. The slider missed the mark. Ball 3. 3-2. High-pitched voice of Frankie Corsetti, I should say, resounds around the arena here. Full count. Big pitch. Swinging. A line drive deep toward left, going foul to the upper stands and left. That was just about the best hit ball of the game, but it went foul. And the Yankee Clipper really leaned into that one, cutting from the heels. DiMaggio, though 35, has made a grand comeback. Remember, he was hitting 240 around mid-season and wound up above the 300 mark. Again, 3-2. Konstanty throws. Inside, ball 4. The ball broke down well, but way inside, and Konstanty walks his 4th man of the game. 1 intentionally, and that's the 2nd time DiMaggio's been tapped. He was put on, you remember, in the 3rd inning. 2 times Woodling has walked, 2 times DiMaggio has walked. Now, the big cat, John Mize, batting left-handed, 0 for 2. Slow pitch, high inside to the ponderous first baseman. Ball 1. He flied to right in the first and popped out to third with 3 on in the third. Konstanty on the stretch, DiMaggio leading off, nobody out. Pitching. Swinging. A twister toward third base, staying fair. Jones, under it, pounds his glove, makes the catch. Mize pops out, the third baseman, Willie Jones. 1 away, and DiMaggio checks back in at first. Now Bob Brown. He has the 1 extra base hit in this ball game. A zipping double just inside the line, rolling down toward the bullpen in left field, where the Phil's mound call works out in relief. Brown has a choke grip on the bat, batting left-handed. Pitching him. Strike 1 call. That was a screwball down and away to a left-handed swinger. 0-1. Bob fly to right in the 2nd. And then he swung on the first pitch thrown by Konstanty for the double in the 4th. Score 1-0 New York, top of the 6th. DiMaggio at first base, 1 away. 0-1 count. Konstanty now takes a little bit more time. Quick throw to first, and DiMaggio's back in plenty of time. Jones was moving in that time. They play him fairly shallow, straightaway hitter. Pitching, way high and inside. Ball 1. Though Konstanty has walked 4 men, he hasn't really displayed bad control. That hook of his has to be around the plate, and it's a matter of scant interest. 1-1. Pitching. Swinging, a line drive toward right, and it's moving in and makes the play. That ball started out as if it was going to drop down and kept rising. The wind now is variable, and though for the most part we had a brisk breeze blowing in from left, it has died down somewhat with the sun coming out, although it still favors right field hitters. 2 men out on Brown's line drive toward right. DiMaggio still at first base, and Henry Bauer, who hit the longest ball of the game, for a deep put out in center field, at least 400 feet away. Back in the fourth inning. 0 for 2. Ball one high inside, slow curve. Henry bounced out short the first for the second out in the second, and fly to Ashburn deep in center in the fourth. He was one of the Yankee 300 hitters during the 1950 campaign. 1-0. Konstanty throws. Hank swings. A grass cutter to third. Throw to second for the fourth. In time. And the side is retired. Final out for us from the top of the sixth for the New York Yankees went third baseman Jones to second baseman Mike Oliat. And in the sixth for New York, no runs, no hits, no field errors, and 1 man left on. At the end of 5 1/2, score, the Yankees won, the Phillies nothing. Don DiMaggio says the Gillette Super Speed Razor gives him the slickest shaves of his life. Ralph Kiner calls it the handiest razor he has ever used. Yes, and here is Eddie Robinson, outstanding first baseman of the Chicago White Sox, who says,
Fans, if you want a razor that is a razor, get the Gillette Super Speed Razor. Believe me, it's tops in every way.
tell us more, Eddie.
Well, in a nutshell, it's beautifully designed and well made and mighty easy to use. Particularly, it gives a fellow the swellest shave ever.
Men, the Gillette Super Speed Razor changes blades instantly, cleans instantly, and skims whiskers off smooth as sailing. You'll enjoy better looking, more refreshing shaves by far. Ask for the Gillette Super Speed Razor set. You get the razor, a 10-blade Gillette dispenser, and a serviceable styrene travel case. A big $1.75 value for only $1. Jim Konstanty, who the boys on the club call Houdini. This fellow has an odd outlook on things, a very effective one, I should say, concerning his record this season. He believes that nobody should make a mistake, at least of all Jim Konstanty. And his record just about bears out that he doesn't make very many of them. He has given up the double to Bob Brown and the fly ball score, the 1 run that makes the marginal difference in this ball game. Jim bounced out weakly to the mound in the third inning. 0 for 1, batting right-handed. Raschi set to work. Vic throws. Jim swings and misses. Strike 1. Raschi, they tell me, had a bit of arm difficulty toward the close of the campaign. But he doesn't look as though there's anything wrong with him today. Nothing in one pitch. Swinging, missing. An even faster ball. Strike 2. Raschi has stand free. And here comes the sun. It's beautiful. Nothing in 2 pitch. Throwing. High and away. Ball 1. Raschi's control has been so great that chunky Yogi Berra has virtually caught him in a rocking chair this afternoon. The Yankees lead 1-0. And those goose eggs are galore for the Phillies right now. Last half of the sixth. 1-2. Leaning forward. Big pitch. Throwing. Swinging, missing. Struck him out. Ball appeared to have a bit of a wrinkle on it. And Konstanty goes down as Raschi's fourth strikeout victim. 1 away. Now the top of the Phil's batting array, Eddie Waitkus, with one man gone and nobody on. Last half of the sixth. They are calling for the Sunspects out there, especially Coleman at second and Hank Bauer in right, and I think the margin center. Virtually every outfield post is a sun field here at Shibe Park. Eddie Waitkus the batter, time call for the moment. And more specs are being brought out. Woodling, who became slightly injured, is moving in from left field as the Yankee bat boy races out. There's just no guard from the sun. Late afternoon, the wicked rays come down over the roof where we sit. And the right fielder really has a tough time. Actually, the rays are more severe. I should say maybe about an hour from now or even 45 minutes than they would be right now. But here is a beautiful day right now. Though still a bit cool, wind continuing to blow toward right. Yankees leading 1-0, first game, 1950 World Series. Last of the sixth, set to go now. Raschi pitching Eddie Waitkus. Hicks inside, ball 1. Eddie fouled out to Berra in the first. That was when Woodling was hurt. Count ran 3-2 on him, and then he grounded out to Jerry Coleman at second in the fourth. 0 for 2. Swings left-handed. Raschi throwing. High. Ball 2. That's fastball. It's an amazing thing what they've done with Berra. He came up, he was just a stout, clumsy kid. Bill Dickey worked on him. There was never any question about his hitting. And I might say he looks mighty graceful down there. 2-0. Big one. Trip is good for strike one call. Take was on, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Brown playing cautiously at third base, so there is nobody on. Left side moves in on the infield, and the outfield generally is straight away toward left. 2-1. Ball 3. Low and away. Changed up on him. Giving you an idea as to Raschi's effectiveness. This is but the second time in the game he has worked the count as deep as this, and the only fellow to do that before was Wakefield. 3-2 in the first. Now he's 3-1. The triple is due. He throws. Ball 4. There was a high outside pitch. And the Phils have their first base runner on via the walk. Konstanty has passed for DiMaggio once intentionally. The Phils first got to Raschi in the 5th, but their rally came too late. Jones and Summoner Stengel. Now a man on. 1 down. Yankees leading 1-0. And the infield as a whole moves in on speedy Richie Ashburn, batting left-handed. 0 for 2. Strike 1 call. Vic caught the corner of the strike zone, outside to the left-handed batter. Richie bunted out, pitched it to first in the first, and then lined out right to DiMaggio in the 4th. 0 for 2. No ball, 1 strike count on Rich. Towhead from Tilden, Nebraska. The gee whiz boy. Gee whiz, gee whiz. Isn't that great? Constant ready smile all the time. 0-1. Pitching. Wide. Ball 1. Raschi has paced himself very well. And I noticed that while he was quick pitching, for the most part early, now with runners on, he realizes that just with a 1-run margin, he's got to be cautious, but not too cautious. They have moved up very much more so than they would be on the ordinary batter, since Ashburn has shot out of the gun along the first base line. 1-1 pitch. Swinging a blooper to short center field. DiMaggio gets a good jump on the ball, charges in, pounds his glove, makes the catch. That's all for Richie Ashburn. Short fly ball to center to Joe DiMaggio. 2 gone. Wake is holding at first. Dick Sisler. He received the most tremendous ovation when his name was announced over the public address system at the start of the game. But he hasn't done much. He's bounced out to Raschi, and he struck out swinging on a fine inside pitch to him with a count 1-2 back in the 4th. Wakefield remains at first. Score 1-0 Yankees, last of the 6th. Raschi stretches. Throws. Swinging a high pop toward first. Calling for the ball. Johnny Mize right near the bag, under it, and makes it. An easy pop fly retires the Phillies. Put out being made by John Mize at first base. Last of the 6th inning, no runs, no Phil's hits, no Yank errors, and 1 Phil, Ed Wakefield left on. 6 innings, the Yankees, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 6 left. The Phillies, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on. Well, Mel, did you have any idea that the pitching would be as sharp, particularly considering the fact that Konstanty was a reliever all season?
Well, I had a good idea that Konstanty, if he had his control, would be difficult for the Yankees for this reason. And it's the same reason that Eddie Sawyer started him today, among others. Of course, the absence of a great guy like Curt Simmons has hurt the Philadelphia pitching staff. But the other reason being that during the course of the regular season, it was a pitcher who threw the type of stuff that Konstanty does that could beat the Yankees better than anyone else. And as long as he's had his control pretty well today, you figured he might be tough. And as far as Raschi is concerned, he always has been a great pitcher, and when, as in the case of most pitchers, when he's got his control, he's going to be a tough customer.
Of course, nobody's hitting any great shakes today, Mel. That's for sure. The Armed Forces Radio Services carrying this broadcast around the world today as moving into the top of the 7th inning, the stretch frame for the Yankee fans. Jerry Coleman, 0 for 2, batting right-handed, and he looks outside. 1-0. The fellows in Tokyo, Berlin, Vienna, Tripoli, Labrador, Guam, many others, having this broadcast relayed to you via shortwave signal. Hope you're enjoying it. 1-0. Well up in the box, Coleman. Konstanty throws. Ball 2. Toward the strike zone, but below it. 2-0. Jerry, of course, has the honor of batting in the only run of the ball game. He sent Sisler back deep enough for Brown at third to score, with one away in the fourth inning. And that's all she's written. 1-0 New York. 2-0 pitch by Konstanty. Strike one called. Slow breaking pitch toward the outside. 2-1. Hamner deep-throated, talking it up at shortstop. Both infields a lot of pepper today. 2-1. Swinging, slow hit ground ball. One hop taken by Jones at third. Throw to first in time, but the throw was high and wide. And steady Eddie Wakers had to kind of dance off the bag, moving to his own left that time to make sure to put out. Third to first. One away. And now Raschi. You can expect some cheers for this fella. Of course, here at Shibe Park, it's predominantly a Philadelphia throng today, so that the applause was a little bit better than token. But there's no question about the job he's done. He has a hit in 2 trips. That's right-handed. Well up in the box. Konstanty set, firing. And it's high inside. Ball 1. One and oh. One gone, nobody on. Pitching, swinging, slow hit, ground foul toward Frankie Corsetti at third base. A lot of fellows will tell you Corsetti was given a whistle for a voice. He's got the highest voice I think any wigwagger has in the game today. And what a great ball player he was. He's been in a lot of these before. 1-1. Raschi waiting, Konstanty throwing, swinging. A zipping foul toward the lower deck in right field. Strike 2. Out of play. On deck, Gene Woodling, who at least is probably the most battle-scarred warrior here today, as far as this game is concerned. He ran right into the concrete out and left early in the game. 1-2. Big pitch, swinging. A ball hit along third base line, staying fair, elbow to Jones, long throw to first. Not in time. He dropped the ball, and it may be an error on the throw. Since the ball was low in the dirt. I think Jones was anticipating a foul. Well, he had to hurry his throw, which was true toward the bag, but low. And Wakes had to dig it out and then drop it. That is the first error of the ball game. You charge it on the throw to Willie Jones at third. So Raschi has a light. If you're keeping score on a radio scorecard, it would be error on 5. 1 down, 1 on. Leadoff man Woodling. 2 walks. And a ground ball play. First baseman Wakes to pitcher Konstanty. Jim lost him both in the first and third. Very odd stance. Feet close together, deep in the box, batting left-handed. Pitching. Strike 1 goal. That ball broke away from the left-hander. Top of the 7th. This ball game has given the fans little to cheer about as far as the heavy artillery. Just the 1 run. Swings and misses. That was a real down-breaking pitch. And he put all of his Worcester, New York strength behind that one, did Konstanty. He threw hard, and though the ball did not travel fast, it certainly broke well. A dazzler. 0-2. At first, Raschi. Pitching, swinging a line drive toward left center field, in there for a base hit. Maybe more. Ashburn charging the ball makes a fine play to hold Raschi at second base. He had a charge to his own right and made a fine throw. About Ashburn, the league felt that he had the weakest throwing arm of all center fielders in the National League. But he proved, of course, especially in that great play in the climactic Brooklyn game, that if not powerfully strong, certainly accurate. It held Raschi at second. Now you can see where the error figures in this ball game. It moves Raschi along the second base, and of course Woodling is the base runner at first. That is but the 4th Yankee hit. Now Scooter Rizzuto, Pepper Potts shortstop, batting right-handed. Outside low, ball 1. There isn't much strike zone when you throw to this fella. Bullpen activity now for the Phils in left field. Right-hander Russ Meyer. 1 ball, no strike count, 2 Yanks on. Raschi at second. Woodling at first. Pitching and swinging. A foul and a fly, which goes upstairs along the first base line. I noticed that Phil stepped back that time and tried to punch the ball toward right in an effort to hit behind the runner, particularly the man at second base. Raschi can run pretty well. Big, fine athlete. 1-1 count on Phil. Stepping out. Time called. Shadows of the first base stands now falling on the infield. The rest of the field is really sunlit. 1-1 pitch. Swinging, ground ball, foul by inches. Boy, that was really a thriller that time. And the crowd, you could hear, held its breath as it rolled just inches shy of the bag along the third base. They don't waste too much time with baseballs that go foul in the World Series. They keep that fresh horseside in play consistently. Konstanty goes to the rosin. He's starting to show some signs of work, at least. Brushing perspiration from his brow. And, of course, his glasses will fog up at times. Getting a little bit more warm down there than usual. Big pitch coming up. He stretches. He throws. He swings. A high pop fly. Jones moving near the bag. Automatic put out. The automatic is on, and Jones will get credit for it. With runners on at first and second at the time that Rizzuto cut, there was only one away. So the automatic was on. Anyway, Jones squeezed it for the second out. Now, Yogi Berra. This fellow's getting to be the Vince Barnett of his day in baseball. I think he's more quoted than any other ball player today as far as the tracks. I particularly like that one about insurance down there in spring training, Mel. I think he and Joe Page are talking about. Well, we'll leave that one for the books sometime. That's one of those dinners after the season's over. Two gone, left-handed batter. 0 for 3. Deep to right on a fly, to left, and a foul of the catch. Inside low. Yogi was consistently above the 300 mark all season. And very heavy in the run production department. Two gone, two on. Top of the seventh. Big pitch. High and away. Ball 2. All the while, Meyer is going through the stretch routine in the Phil's bullpen in left field, in case Konstanty gets himself in any further well of hot water. Raschi continues to hang on at second. Very loose. And at first base, Woodling, who got the 4th Yankee hit. 0-2 count on Larry Berra. He checks second, goes to the plate, swings. A zipping foul to the lower stand in left field. Strike one. Ball out of play. It's a tense moment now. You see, the pitching has been so tremendous here at the 1-run margin. Why it looks bigger all the time as the game she rolls along. Some insurance by the Yankees now could ice it, you see. 2-1. Big pitch, swinging, a ground ball right to Akers. He's going to make the play himself, and does. That's the third out in the 7th inning for New York, which was set down with no runs, a hit, an error by the third baseman Willie Jones on a throw on Raschi's ball, and 2 Yanks left on. 6.5 innings. Score, New York Yankees 1. 6.5 innings. Score, New York Yankees 1. The Philadelphia Phillies, nothing. Fans, to enjoy utmost shaving satisfaction day in and day out, take the advice of Eddie Robinson of the Chicago White Sox and get a modern Gillette Super Speed Razor. Ingenious one-piece construction makes this the most convenient type of razor money can buy. The Gillette Super Speed Razor is a precision instrument, not a gadget. It changes blades instantly, cleans instantly, and shaves like a charm. There's nothing to take apart or put together, nothing to jam or clog, nothing to waste your time or try your patience. You get slick-looking, comfortable shaves and save money, too. For Gillette's double edges mean double economy. For the biggest shaving value ever offered, buy a Gillette Super Speed Razor. You get it with a 10-blade Gillette dispenser and a serviceable styrene travel case. All in all, $1.75 value for only $1. With Mel Allen, this is Gene Kelly in Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports, the first game of the 1950 World Series, which has rolled along in a tremendous pitcher's duel for 6.5 innings. Before the first batter up in the last of the 7th for the Phils, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Back at Shibe Park, the applause and cadence start. In the background, mostly Phil's rooters, of course, at Shibe Park. First two games here at Shibe Park. Next three, and the third of the three at the Yankee Stadium, if necessary. And, of course, if the series goes beyond 5 games, back in Philadelphia. Dell Ennis, who the leading hitter of the Phils throughout 1950, and the big RBI man, hasn't done much so far. Coleman made a fine play on him in the second, Jerry going to his own left to throw him out, and Dell lofted to right field in routine fashion back in the 5th inning. He is 0 for 2. The Phils have but 2 singles, those by Jones and Seminick in the 5th inning. Raschi set, throws, Ennis, low, inside, ball 1. 1-0. The Phils have not been a tremendous hitting club this season, but invariably they have come from behind. 1-0. Yankee defense, pat on a pull hitter toward left. 1-0. Wide, ball 2. Raschi completely unnerved. Oh, the crowd roars on almost every delivery now. Decides to take his own time and rub up the ball a little bit. Hikes at his shoulder, loosens himself up. 2-0 pitch, set, throwing, swinging a foul. Went for the cripple and picked it back on the screen behind the plate. Strike 1. Nobody out and nobody on. Last half of the 7th, and the score remains New York 1, the Phillies nothing. DiMaggio strolling around out in center field, very unconcerned about it all. As soon as that ball meets bat, though, he's on the run. 2-1 count. Throwing, swinging, a blooper toward right, now getting height. Bauer with a lot of room, a lot of time, moves in under and makes it. And it flies out to right. 1 down. Pudd'nhead Jones, who has one of the 2 singles accumulated by the Phils. Not much of an accumulation thus far. Konstanty, on the other hand, has allowed the Yankees 4. One, a big double by Bob Brown, around which the Yankees scoring centered in the 4th inning. That's when the run was scored. Jones bats right-handed, deep in the box. Now she set to work, delivering. Strike 1 call, fine fastball. Uniquely, Jones was discovered by a former Yankee organization man, John Meade, who is now director of player personnel of the Phils. 0-1. Wide and high on a second fastball, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 gone, nobody on. Score 1-0, New York. Pausing for the sign, Sombera. The target up, the pitch, swings and misses. Strike 2. Even Jones was at a loss in the second half of the season, especially the last month and a half, as to why his average dipped down. He lost 60 points in about the final 6 or 7 weeks of play, and started hitting at .265 of the season. 1-2. Swinging a foul upstairs toward the roof along the first baseline, completely out of play. And the Yankee bullpen, the old pro, Johnny Hupp, for defensive measures, is starting to heat up for Casey Stengel. Myers, of course, can still hit that ball, swing that bat. But Hupp, a little bit faster on his feet, would be inserted in late innings, just as Mayo might go into left field for Sisler for the Phillies. Raschi shakes off a couple of signs, nods on the next. The 1-2 pitch, throwing, swinging a fly to short center field, very high. It gives DiMaggio plenty of room to move in. He says he has it, and he does. Jones flies to Joe DiMaggio in center. 2 gone. Few Phils have met the ball solidly against Raschi. And the deepest ball hit by any one of them was Goliat's bid for the distance back in the 3rd inning. It was the second out, and it gave the crowd a momentary thrill here. But Gene Woodling backed up near the gravel protectory, which is about 5 to 7 feet deep, and warns the outfielders of the oncoming fence. Here is Granny Hamner, 0 for 2. Ground ball is short, fly ball to right. Batting right-handed. Swinging, a foul behind the plate. Serra's going to give it a try. Runs near the screen and can get it. It lofts down just where the screen tapers off the bars of the upstairs boxes, right behind the plate. Foul, strike one. Billy Johnson, one of the two Yankee third basemen, moving toward the bullpen. Would that be another possible defensive measure, Mel?
That's right, Gene. Casey Stengel likes to play the two-platoon system at first and third bases in the late innings of a tight ball game, figuring that Hop and Johnson at first and third, respectively, will help the team defensively.
Johnson and Hop join each other down there. Count 0-1 on Hamner with 2 gone, nobody on. Right 2 calls. I noticed today that Raschi has not made any pitches too true, down the alley, as they say. He has been off on corners, let her high, around the belt, throwing tight, away, tossing the batter up, keeping him off balance. Score 1-0. Yankees leading, last of the 7th. A wonderful, wonderful ball game. And now the sun comes out to make it complete. Crowd in a hush. Raschi in the motion, throwing, swinging a foul, back upstairs, just to the base of the press coop. This ball game is having tremendous coverage today. Ball came down again and went into the on-deck circle, Yankee territory, first base side. Note now that Raschi is slowing up between pitches, calling upon his reserve in the late frame. 0-2, throwing. Slow curve, and he ducks under and away from the pitch. Waste pitch, ball 1. When you look in the fielding averages, you'll find that Hamner had 46 errors to Rizzuto's 12. They're looked upon as the outstanding shortstops in both leagues. 2 entirely different type ball players, though. Scooter getting the jump on that ball, getting rid of the ball quickly. Now Raschi, after shaking off 1, set to go, 1-2, big pitch, slow curve, too high, inside, ball 2. Matter of fact, Hamner will smile when he tells you, well, by golly, I can get that ball going to my right and going to my left, but I have a lot of trouble with the ball hit right at me. And Scooter, well, he's well named. He's just about the most valuable player in the American League this season. That's what everybody says, and the odds are very, very sharp that he will be selected as such. 2-2. Hamner giving Raschi the battle. Square count pitch, throwing, swinging on a high, wide pitch and fouling off downstairs on the screen. Yankees tallied their 1 run in the 4th inning. A Bobby Brown left field double and consecutive fly balls by Hank Bauer and Jerry Coleman. The latter scoring Brown with the only run in this ball game. Still 2-2. Even up. Outfield shifted straight away left. He throws. He swings and sends a very, very long fly ball deep toward right field. Bauer going back and makes a fine catch against the wall. Henry Bauer drags that one in. A bit for extra bases. One of the finest fielding plays of the game. He had it all the way, but got a fine jump on it. And remember, in order to prevent his own crashing in, he propped himself against the boards right near the right field arch standard, which is approximately 350 feet from home plate. So Hamner flies deep to right on a nice play by Hank Bauer. And the Phils are retired again in order in the 7th inning. Nothing across, no hits, no errors, none left. 7 innings, the New York Yankees. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, and 8 men left on. For the Phillies, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and but 3 left on. Konstanty made the trip out to the mound, not knowing that he would go at least 9 innings, twice during the season. He did it once in Pittsburgh on a memorable evening. It was a hot, clammy evening, and it was an odd ball game in which the Phillies had come from behind to tie up. Then Semenuk hit a home run in the 10th, and Big Slug Kiner, who was here today, by the way, of Pittsburgh, equaled it. And then they rolled on for 15 innings. Cliff Chambers of the Pirates and Konstanty of the Phils trading pitch for pitch. Konstanty singled in the last of the 15th to help his own cause in going on to win 9-7. That was one of his jobs. Now he faces DiMaggio, top of the 8th. DiMaggio takes strike 1 call. A dipping ball that cut the knees on the outside corner. Joe, 0 for 2 officially, passed intentionally back in the third. Foul to first, and a forced, or I should say 0 for 1 officially. He was walked twice, once intentionally and once on 3 and 2 and a 6. So the count now is 1-1. The next pitch was wide. Pitching wide again. I noticed that Konstanty is throwing almost consistently a breaking ball to Joe. He got him on a tight pitch once for strikes, but Joe eventually walked in the 6th. 2-1. The big one, got to be good. Swings a high, twisting pop, third base side. Jones moving near the bag, right on the line, and takes it just inside the line in fair territory, about 3 feet in front of the bag for the putout. DiMaggio pops out to third. 1 man up and 1 man down for the Yankees in the top of the 8th. Joe DiMaggio. Now, John Mize. It'll be interesting to see just how long Mize remains in the game. The 1 run imposes larger and larger as the game goes along. Swinging a slowly hit ground ball that twists towards second. Goliat up over to first in time. That ball had a lot of sidewise English on it. It started out toward the mound and kept twisting away near the bag at second. And Goliat had to move to his own right and pick up this twisting ball and didn't beat Mize by very much. Second to first to play. 2 up, 2 down. Top of the 8th inning, 1-0 ball game. Not a thriller by any means, just the fact that the fans sit far forward on the edge of their chairs to see what's going to happen next. Here is Brown. There was another pitch. It was a foul ball, and it was hit almost exactly the way his double went down the line in the 4th inning. Strike 1. Bobby 1 for 3, but that one, he's the big one in the game, the double. Led off the 4th on the first pitch. He has a pair of flies to right with 2 putouts, 1 for 3. 0-1. Yankees lead, 1-0. 2 gone. 2 slow pumps now as he rocks. He throws. Low and outside. Ball 1. A ball and a strike on Bobby Brown. Dr. Bob Brown from San Francisco. Leaning in now. 1-1 delivery. Ball 2. The screwball broke too far outside. The accomplishment of this young man who's standing in the batter's box right now is very rare indeed for a game as confining as baseball throughout its approximate 6 months. So you've got to give him a lot of credit. 2-1. Pitching, swinging. A high, chopping ball back to second. Goliat with a lot of room. Puts them out in plenty of time. 3 up, 3 down. Top of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. 7.5 inning score. The New York Yankees 1, the Phillies nothing. Year after year, Gillette Blue Blades are first choice among men the world over. That's because no other kind is as sharp, as easy shaving, as long-lasting. Men, for shaves that make your face look and feel its best, you need the world's #1 razor blade. Today, Gillette Blue Blades. You get Gillette Blue Blades in the familiar original package of 5 for a quarter. To enjoy extra convenience at no extra expense, we recommend you buy them in the Gillette dispenser that deals the blades out unwrapped. It also has a built-in compartment for the safe, permanent disposal of used blades. The 10-blade dispenser is 49 cents. The 20-blade size, 98 cents. The regular price of the blades alone. Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Use Gillette Blue Blades for the sharpest edges ever honed. To the last of the 8th inning, Johnny Hop moves into the game, and of course he's more or less of a surprise performer. There was a kind of a late trade deal in which Jack Mayo and Jocko Thompson, who were called up from Toronto when Simmons went into the Army and Nicholson was sidelined with diabetes. So Stengel said, well, give me Hop for Hendricks. And Tommy, of course, is sidelined and John inserted on the roster. Also at third, Billy Johnson. So the inner defense for New York charged up for perhaps a desperate finish by the Phils, who trail by a lone marker. H.O. double P, John Hupp. Now in the bullpen, Meyer begins warming up, so that for the nub end of this ball game, it may well be that Sawyer will decide to lift Konstanty for a pinch hitter. Johnson for Brown, Hop for Myers. Now Seminick the batter. He has one of the 2 hits. Swinging, missing, strike one. Seminick was a pull hitter consistently before this year. Then he opened his stance and started punching the ball to right. And I noticed that Bauer is not playing him too much over toward left as they ordinarily would. He has a very wide open stance. Aimed toward the third base side. 0-1. Wide of the plate on a sidearm crossfire. 1-1. The right side of the infield sees Coleman pretty deep, near second. Rizzuto and Johnson fairly orthodox since Seminick is a slow runner. 1-1. Swings and misses. Strike 2. High fastball. Raschi seems to have Andy's number. So Seminick was born in West Virginia and lives in Tennessee. He is an idol around the Pittsburgh area where he attended high school, Canonsburg and UCA. All around great performer. New York writers refer to him as Grandpa Whiz. 1-2. Raschi winding, throwing. Third misses outside for ball 2. Vic Raschi getting hotter as the game proceeds toward the end of its regulation distance. Last half of the 8th. Seminick to be followed by Goliath and possibly a pinch hitter for Konstanty. Fred Stanford warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Right-hander. Even up, 2-2. Pitching, swinging a lazy pop in playing territory. Hop racing under the ball, near his dugout, under, and Johnny grabs it. Seminick pops out for Hop. And I imagine Mel has had a lot of opportunities of saying that this season, especially in the latter stages of the campaign. Hop was acquired from Pittsburgh, and is a fellow with tremendous experience in these kind of games, especially with the St. Louis Cardinals, Boston Braves. One away on the pop to Hop, foul territory. Goliath, deep fly to left, and a strikeout swinging in the 5th inning. Batting right-handed. Second baseman leaning in, taking high around the eyes, ball 1. Last half of the 8th inning. Just one lone marker in the 4th. As Raschi and Konstanty have hitched up in one of those stupendous pitching duels. 1-0. Swings and misses, strike 1. Raschi, you'll note, has the shadows just behind him and toward the plate, and he's blowing that dark one in there right now. Dick Whitman, a former Dodger, who is appearing in his 2nd State World Series. Last year with Brooklyn, this season with the Phils, is moving out of the dugout as a pinch hitter for Konstanty. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 call. Raschi is pouring it on. And his job today has been one of magnificent pacing. He has rarely been behind, I think just twice in the game, and that was to Wakefield. He has walked but 1 and allowed 2 singles, spanning 4. 1-2 ahead of Goliath. Yankees leading 1-0 last of the 8th. Now Big Vic set for the big pitch. Throwing, swinging a foul back on the screen behind the plate. Still 1-2. There haven't been very many foul balls dipped into the stands today, so they're much coveted. And the crowd is crashing in here, battling for those very, very valuable souvenirs. Stanford continuing to throw for New York, and Meyer for the Phils in respective bullpen. Now the count again, 1-2 with a new ball in play. In the motion, pitching, swinging, and another foul, staying alive. Just got a pitch, and the ball hit the top of Barry's glove, skimming away. We had a couple of injuries of apparently minor nature in the game. Woodling to lead off in the game, and then Conlon, when Goliath was starting earlier. That came in a very, very important 5th inning. But just about the only threat that the Phillies have had. 2 hits, and that's all. 1-2. Swings and a zipper right back to Jerry Coleman at second base. He smashed one right back to Jerry, and Jerry went into a physical training knee-bending exercise, just as easy as 5 for that put-out. 2 up, 2 down. A liner to second. And now Konstanty is out of the game. Dick Whitman will bat for him. Through the season, Whitman had a 250 batting average, but as a pinch hitter, he hit an even 300. He's a left-handed straightaway hitter from Portland and Coburn, Oregon, where he's an off-season putting mate, he tells me, of Bobby Doerr of the Boston Red Sox. He is deep in the box, batting left-handed. Raschi faces him. Dick cuts the foul that twists its way just above our Gillette microphone. We sit looking right down the first base and right field foul line, just off to the plate, slightly to the left. 0-1 on Whitman. Konstanty thus has hurled 8 very good innings. The run was earned and batted home by Coleman and scored by Brown in the fourth. And Jim allowed all told 4 hits. He walked 4, and behind him 1 error was made, which did not figure in any scoring, of course. 0-1 to Whitman. Raschi winding, delivering. A pitch low in the dirt. That's just about the wildest pitch that Raschi has thrown. Overhand hook. Real jug handle. 1-1 count. W-H-I-T-M-A-N. Whitman. Fair outfielder. And a pretty consistent pinch hitter. Last 3/8 through gone. Nobody on. Pitching. Swinging a fly ball. Hit very deep toward right field. Ball going way back. Close to the wall. He makes the catch. Boy, that was the longest bid that the Phils had put in quite some time. A fly ball deep to the wall, to the right of the scoreboard in right field, ends the inning for the Phillies in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. 8 innings, score. New York 1, the Phillies nothing. Men, for modern shaving comfort and convenience, get a modern Gillette one-piece razor. This razor combines instant blade changing with double-edged economy and superb shaving performance. Only Gillette offers these 3 big advantages. Buy a Gillette one-piece razor. There are several models, and each includes a handsome permanent travel case and a generous supply of Gillette's blue blades. We pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Tempestuous Russ Meyer of Peru, Illinois, has come on to face the New York Yankees in the top of the ninth. Here's a fellow that is a throwback, at least as far as his characteristics, to the famed Rube Waddell. He's been tossed out of a couple of games this season, but he wants so badly to win ball games that he'll tell you, I was only out there trying to win. And he's had some brushes here and there, but he's had good breaking stuff in the clutch. And Sawyer has gone right along with him. As a matter of fact, it's possibly a tribute, again, to Sawyer on the fine job he's done with this ball club this season, taking comparative youngsters and whipping them up to the pennant dash. He's a right-hander and features a screwball and has one of the toughest motions to face. He seems to twist one way and another, an octopus delivery. So he replaces Jim Konstanty, who hurled 8 innings, allowed 4 hits, won a big double to Brown, walked 4, struck out none, and the 1 run was earned. You can't say, of course, that the reliever Konstanty didn't pitch well. His mates haven't hit Raschi, and Raschi, of course, has been superb. Now Meyer in the ninth to face Hank Bauer, and it's called strike 1. He throws very few straight balls, this fellow. Curves and screwballs. Ground ball is short, deep fly ball to center, and a final out for it in the 6th, 3rd to 2nd. Has on Hamner and Whitman. 1-1. Pitching, swinging, and getting a foul. Zip back to the plate. 1-2. On deck, Gary Coleman, and of course, Raschi. Oh, I suspect we'll get a great hand from this capacity audience at Shibe Park. Sanford stays warmed up for the Yankees in right field. 1-2 pitch. Sidearm curve, too close. 2-2. Meyer's record on the season was 9 victories and 11 losses. It was quite a come down for him after having triumphed 17 times in 1949. But in the spot where they needed him, he came through. 2-2. Swinging a fly foul toward the lower stands and right. And reaching up for it, the fans get what the Army calls a dry run. That thing went right down the concrete runway. Some youngster made a mad dash for it. 2-2. Meyer taking time. Of course, his big job is to stave off any further Yankee threat. With a one-run margin, New York leading. Square count to Henry Bauer. In the windup, he pitches. Ball 3, too low and outside. That was a dipping curveball. Big Husky Hank, the ex-Marine. He can run, he can throw, and he can hit. Full count. Swing runs out. In the motion, the pitch. The swing, a slow hit ground ball toward third. Up with it, Jones. It gets away from him. He loses the handle, and it goes perhaps as an infield hit. We'll wait and see on the official. That's a base hit. A scratch on which Jones tried to charge the ball, a topper, and it got away from him, going for a hit. So the leadoff man, Bauer, gets a very important scratch off the third baseman, Willie Jones. That, in all, is the fifth Yankee hit. All have been singles, but for Brown's double in the fourth inning. A runner on, nobody out, and the batter is Jerry Coleman. 0 for 3. He, of course, has wrapped home the only run of the game. Slender second baseman, batting right-handed. Meyer throws inside low, ball 1. Infield was looking for the bunt. Wakers dancing in from first. Jones rushing in from third. Goliad, of course, moving to his own left, ready to cover first in case. Score 1-0 New York, the one run in the fourth inning. And the man who produced it is up there now. Nobody out. Fast runner at first. Meyer taking a lot of time, nods on the Seminole signal. Blind right-hander in the set. Power leading off. Power breaks, the pitch, the swing. A hit and run was on, but the fly lost itself out to right center field. Ashburn going over and making the first put out. Richie Ashburn hauls down the hit and run bid in right center field. Center fielder making the put out. One away. Now Raschi. There may have been better pitch games by Vic Raschi throughout his honorable career, but not very many. And I'm pretty sure Mel will back me up on that one. In the bullpen, rookie Bubba Church, a right-hander, warming up for the Phillies. One on, one out. Raschi batting right-handed. Coming around a bunt, misses. Strike one. A dipping ball. And Vic, I noticed that time, kind of tried to nub at it, holding the bat up high with his right hand. Nothing in one. He stretches, comes around a bunt. There's one right back toward the mound. Meyer up with it. One play. First base, Goliad covering in time. Bauer, who's a real fast runner, wasted no time and got down there with only one play allowable to Meyer, and that was to first base. The play is scored. The pitcher, Meyer, to the second baseman, Goliad, covering. So it moves Bauer down a scoring position at second. There are two men gone on the sacrifice, which is the second successful one that the Yankees have pulled off this afternoon. And two men are gone. Woodley been on base 3 times, and he's played a gallant battle today, particularly in view of a painful injury. Semenuk motions with his glove to move toward left. I don't know whether he caught Sisler's eye or not, but anyway, they're playing him straight away toward left. 2 men out. Woodling, in that very unique stance of his. Feet close together, angled off. Meyer in the big stretch. Pitching, throwing. Strike one call. That ball had a lot of spin on it and rolled out of Semenuk's glove to the left of the plate, but the runner at second, Bauer, held on. Nothing in one. A 1-0 ball game. The Yankees leading. Konstanty started. Went 8. Hurled well. Outpitched by Raschi by just a couple of hits. No balls, 1 strike. Meyer's nickname is the Mad Monk. Nothing in one. Throwing, swinging, missing. He threw the screwball, and he really broke that hook off. It's the pitch, of course, thrown with the wrist breaking in. Meyer steps down toward his own left, and then throws at an odd angle away from a left-handed batter, Woodley. His through ball a little bit different than Konstanty. 0-2. Way ahead. The pitch. Swings and sends a lazy one in front of the plate. Up with it, Seminick grabs it, throws to first. In time. Good play. Back to the ninth. So the Phils do it in the regulation distance. They must face the narrow well finish to keep it alive. In the ninth inning. No runs. One hit. No errors. And one man left on. At the end of 8.5 here at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. The Yankees won, the Phillies nothing. Mel, there's one thing I noticed. Should the Phils stray tie the game up, I imagine that Stengel would have at least sacrificed a bit of power by having inserted Hop, who is a consistent hitter, but who, of course, does not hit the long ball like the Big Cat does. As well, how would the hitting of Johnson and Brown compare?
Well, of course, neither Johnny Hop nor Billy Johnson can hit the long ball that Johnny Mize can. But Hop may more or less make up somewhat for it in a tight ball game with his speed, his ability to drag or bunt, beat it out, or to line out a base hit. And Bill Johnson can hit a long ball. He's a rugged guy in the clutch. But, of course, you always like to have that big guy up there. He certainly is more of a threat.
The top of the Phils batting order in the bottom of the ninth. Cambridge Eddie Wakefield, 0 for 2. Fouled the catch of Berra. Ground ball to Coleman at second, and a walk. The only one issued by Raschi in the sixth. Jones and Seminick with singles. And Wakefield with a walk. And otherwise, Mr. Vic Raschi has been perfect. As a matter of fact, he didn't have to be any more perfect than that because the Phils have been scoreless. And this game takes on the similarities to last year's opener between the Dodgers and the Yankees. When Tommy Henrik's home run won the opener against John Newcomb of Brooklyn. Now Wakefield, batting left-handed. Raschi in the motion, delivering. Inside, ball one. Now you can expect a steady roar in the background, especially in the stands surrounding our microphone. Phil's fans will try to get on the opposing pitcher late in the game if their favorites are behind. Ball two. Berra complained a bit on that pitch and shook his head, talking with umpire Conlon. It was a fast pitch which just missed outside. 2-0. So it 1-0, New York. Nobody on, nobody out. Last half of the ninth inning. Pitching. Strike one call. Right down there. The wind continues to blow toward right field as 30,746 look on. Kind of a disappointing crowd for the opener. 2-1. Strike two call. Raschi crossed up Wakefield. He was looking for a fat one, and Vic came across, nicking the outside corner above the Wakefield knee. He'll be followed by Ashburn and Sisler, the three left-handed batters in the Phil's batting order. 2-2. Even up. In the windup, he kicks, he throws, he swings, and puts the foul right below our Gillette microphone. Hear it? Mel Allen did not have on his fielder's mitt that time. And he was a little bit fearful about trying to get it barehanded.
I was a little bit fearful about getting it, serious.
You didn't have that Birmingham brine on, boy. 2-2. Still alive. Pitching, swinging, and getting a foul off umpire Conlon's chest protector. We might add, Mel, that the young fellow warming up in the Phil's bullpen is from Birmingham, or is from Birmingham, but was warming up, Bubba Church. And I don't think there's anybody that could probably explain better than you why they would call him Bubba down there in Alabama. 2-2. Last of the ninth. Yankees leading by 1-0. Raschi set in the motion. Fires. Wide, ball three. Three ball, two strike count. The heat's on. Spring runs out. 3 times he's run, very deep, all on Wakefield. The big pitch. swings. A zipper to Rizzuto. A nice grab, a throw to first in time. And it almost pulled Johnny Hopp off the bag. It was a well-hit ball, but the scooter was playing him perfectly. I've never seen Rizzuto play before today, and the way he gets the ball away is tremendous. He doesn't throw the ball with a great degree of speed, but his motion for getting rid of it is tremendous. Waketh grounds out, short to first. One down. Now on Ashburn, the Yanks inner defense on the left side moves in, particularly Billy Johnson at third base. Hopp and Pullman are back about orthodox. Ashburn stepping in, 0 for 3. Strike one called. Rick took a full cut after the pitch was delivered with more or less as a practice swing. The outfield pushed toward left. Left fielder Woodling very shallow on this young man. Grounded to the pitcher, liner to center, and a fly to center, 0 for 3. Nothing in one count. Raschi delivering. Swinging a zipping foul, grounded right behind first base coach Dusty Cook. Rebounds out there, and right field line umpire McKinley throws it out of play. Nothing in 2 counts. Well, of course, the Yankees entered this struggle with better batting averages. More. 1 run. That's the margin. A double and 2 fly balls. Back in the 4th. 0-2. Beresine, Raschi pitch. Swinging another foul. Back upstairs on the screen. Still nothing in 2. Ashburn, you'll remember back in 1948, was a blazing rookie threat in center. He led the league in stolen bases and hit over 330. Then he bogged down as a sophomore, but has come back in his junior year as a real threat. Not a long ball hitter, of course, by any manner of means. Nothing in 2. Ready for the pitch. Throwing. High inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't imagine the Yankees have played any better defensive ball than they have today, particularly Bauer in right field. He's one of those fellas that doesn't care what's in his way. He went and got him. 1-2. Big pitch. Swinging a zipper down to first. Hopp grabs it, runs to the bag in time. Good play by Johnny Hopp. Boy, that ball just about knocked him down. And therein, my good friend Allen notices the defensive move made by manager Stengel pays off. Whether Mize might have gotten that ball, I don't know. It was hit just inside the line. And having gotten away from the first baseman might have been a double. But Hopp was right on him and ran to the bag for the unassisted putout. 2 up, 2 down. First base unassisted on Ashburn's ball. And now, the last flickering hope of the Phillies in the last of the 9th inning. Dick Sisler, 0 for 3. Has not gotten the ball out of the infield today. Batting left-handed. Wide of the plate, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Raschi taking a lot of his good old West Springfield time right now. Right-hander, ready to work. Pitching, swinging, picking a foul. Strike 1. No doubt that time that Sisler was cutting from the heels and going for the board. His good power is toward right, though he does have that now famous home run in left field in Brooklyn the other day. He was pulling on that ball. And I noticed that the outfield has been moseyed over toward the right. 1-1. 1-0, Yankees lead. 2 Phils down, last of the 9th. Pitching. Strike 2 call. Outside corner pitch. If Raschi has made very many bad pitching moves, they haven't been too evident to these eyes. I don't know whether Sisler was looking for that pitch or not, but it certainly caught the strike zone at the right corner. 2 down. And the 1-2 count on Sisler. Swings the bat nervously, waits for the Raschi pitch. Here it comes. He swings and misses. He struck him out. The Yankees win the opener of the 1950 World Series. And Barrow leaps in the air, holding the victory ball, rushing over toward Vic Raschi to pound his back and shake his hand. The glum crowd, mostly Philadelphia fans, We'll file out quietly now as Sisler went down on strike for Raschi's fifth strikeout victim. So, down in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. My final totals read for New York: 1 run, which is earned, 5 hits, 4 off Konstanty, and 1 off reliever Meyer in the ninth inning. The Yankees.